On this episode of the Quietly Thriving Show, I am going to be digging into the chakra system from a high level, nothing too crazy. And I'm going to be talking about how, as an introvert, your chakras may have been impacted, imbalanced, or blocked over time because of all that extrovert bias conditioning that we are exposed to in our society. So if you're an introvert that feels like you are a little sluggish, if you feel like you're not on your life path, if you feel like you have to fake it till you make it as an extrovert to put yourself out there, then this episode is for you. Hi, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Quietly Thriving Show. I'm Vicki Regina, and in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about something that is becoming really, really important to me, and that's the chakra system. And I'm going to be talking about that through the lens of introverts, because I do believe that as introverts growing up in a very extrovert biased society, we have throughout our lives been subjected to belief systems that has very likely caused some blockages and imbalances, like long-term blockages and imbalances in our chakra system. So I want to talk about that a little bit today, because if you are an introvert, it's really important to understand this so that you can start to take ownership of your chakra system. You can, by that I mean you can start to get to know what the chakra system is. You can start to pay attention to your chakra system, your energy, and understand how your body is communicating to you, so that you can start to do things to bring that into alignment, heal those chakras, and in the process of doing that, release some of those long-term beliefs that are telling you things that you can't do or shouldn't do, or or really hard for you as an introvert. And that's going to allow you to find a little bit more ease and peace and joy in your life and fulfillment, because it's going to get you on a path where you're honoring who you are, what you're here to do, and how you're here to do it. Because you do not have to be an extrovert. You do not have to become an extrovert. You don't have to pretend to be an extrovert to be successful or worthy or loved or accepted in this world. When you start to really show up and shine as an introvert, that's when all that's really going to happen at a level that maybe you've never even thought of or experienced before. So anyway, what we're going to be talking about today is, again, the chakra system. So I'm going to give you a very, very high level overview of what the chakra system is in case you're new to it. I will be doing some more episodes going forward to dive into the chakra system a little bit more deeply, but we're going to start with just high level today. And then I want to talk about how our thoughts and our belief system basically they play off each other, how our thoughts and belief systems impact the health of our chakra system, as well as the health of our chakra system will impact our thoughts and our belief system. So they really feed each other. And then I will use that as a way to introduce you to the idea that as an introvert, you may have been subjected to belief systems and hold belief systems that aren't true, that's causing maybe certain imbalances or blockages in your chakra system. Okay, so let's get started. And the first thing we want to talk about is, what is the chakra system? Well, if you have, well, basically, our chakra system is our energetic. It's part of our energetic body. So we have our physical body, but we also have an energetic body, and our energetic body extends beyond the physical confines of our physical body. So our skin is what defines the external the external container, or the external boundaries of, if you will, of our physical body. But our energetic body extends beyond that. And there's tools that are used in the scientific community that can actually measure that. So we can see that in certain tests and tools and things like that. It can be measured, but that energetic body is not something obviously that we see with the physical eye, but our energetic body is what allows us to sense the energy that's around us. It allows us to take the energy that is around us into our body. It's what allows us to process the energy that we create in our body. And it's what allows us to transmit the energy within us out of us. So if you have ever been in a situation where somebody walked into your personal space and you didn't see them, you didn't hear them, you didn't they didn't touch you, you didn't you didn't smell them, so basically your five senses were not what alerted you to tell you, hey, there's somebody here. You just like felt it. That is a situation where you have encountered your energetic body communicating to you that there's somebody that's very close to you. Another way that you may have encountered or engaged your energetic body or used your energetic body is when you are meeting somebody, if you've ever gotten some sort of like vibe off of them, either a good vibe or a bad vibe. So it could be maybe you just met somebody, they haven't even opened their mouth and you're like, oh, bad juju. Or you're walking down the street and there could be 5, 10 different people. Most people are fine, but there's that 1 or 2 people where you're like, oh, I need to cross the street and not go anywhere near them. You haven't talked to them, been anywhere near them. You just picked up on that vibe. Likewise, it could be the opposite. It could be you meet somebody and before they've even opened their mouth, you just know this person is somebody that I want to talk to. This is somebody that I want to get to know because of the energy that's coming off of them. Those are situations or examples of where your energetic body is picking up on the energy that's around you and communicating to you. So the energy that we pick up from around us that we bring into our body, and even the energy that we process or create in our body, has to be processed in our body so it can move efficiently through our body and go where it needs to go, partly up to our brain, or it needs to tell us what information is out there so that we can process it. And that process of moving energy through our body, there are certain avenues that do that, pathways. I'm not going to go into that now, but where those pathways cross is where we find our chakras. Now, most people who have heard of chakras are aware of the 7 main chakras which reside in our body. So that's the root chakra, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the ajna or the third eye, and the crown. All of that, it lies from starts at the base of our of our spinal column and goes up the spinal column to the crown of our head. Now, there are chakras that lie outside of our physical body. So there's some above us, there's one below us. I'm not going to get into that today, but those 7 main chakras are, while they are the primary chakras, they're the ones that we feel the most impact from. It's actually, those are 7 of there. I think there's actually 114 chakras in our body. So don't really need to know about the others. They're smaller, but chakras are just basically energetic centers where those pathways are crossing. So the 7 main chakras, which are the ones that we primarily focus on, are those energetic hotspots, if you will, where a lot of activity is happening. And each of those chakras they have their own vibrational frequency. They are associated with different physical parts of our body, different emotional, spiritual, glandular parts of our body. So things like confidence is controlled in like the solar plexus chakra, things like our sense of safety and security, and things like anxiety, things like fear, our ability to speak, all of those are controlled within our chakra system. And if our chakras are out of balance or out of alignment, we're going to experience different symptoms or manifestations of that. And they can be, they can be emotional symptoms. They could be, and they can even manifest into physical symptoms. If they're left untreated for too long, they can actually manifest into actual physical illness and disease. So it's really important to pay attention and get to know your chakras so that you can pick up on those subtle changes or those subtle signs that something may be out of balance. Because when your chakras are aligned and they are open and they're balanced, then you are going to be more likely to be guided to the path of like your purpose. And to be on that path, you're going to be more likely to take healthy risks, not crazy risks, but healthy risk. You're going to be more likely to speak your mind. You're going to be more likely to put healthy boundaries around you and enforce them. You're going to be more likely to feel confident in yourself, know your self-worth. You're going to feel a sense of safety and security in your life and in your body. You're going to feel comfortable expressing who you are. You're going to feel creative. So you're going to be able to create things in your life. And creative doesn't necessarily mean, by the way, like being arts and crafty. You can be creative in solving math problems. So it's just using your mind in a way that is engaging that sense of play. And when your chakras are balanced and open, you're able to tap into that more easily and more frequently. So yes, when your chakras are aligned and balanced, you can navigate life with just more ease and resiliency, and you experience more joy. You also become more magnetic. Like people just want to be around you when you're exuding that kind of energy. When your chakras are imbalanced, however, that is where you are going to doubt yourself. You're going to not feel safe and secure. And I'm not talking about in situations where you really, truly are not safe and secure. I'm talking about where you're in like a very stable, healthy relationship. You have a good job. You have a nice, you live in a nice neighborhood, those type of very nice privileged things, and you still feel this sense of lack of safety. It can come from, some issues in the past, and also from your root chakra being out of alignment or imbalanced. But when your chakras are again imbalanced, either they're overactive, underactive, you will experience a bunch of different things that will tell you that's what's happening. But unless you're aware of it, you may not necessarily understand that that's what's actually happening. And so that's the beauty of learning about your chakra system, is when you learn what are potential signs or symptoms of blockages and balances, then you can start to do the work to bring those into alignment and heal them and balance them. So just as a quick example, well, actually, before I get to that, there's one more piece I wanted to explain, and that is how, what causes these imbalances or blockages. And some of that can be caused by just little life stresses, being running late for work, or having a really tough day at work where your boss was yelling at you and maybe something went wrong, or, having a fight with your partner, or finding out that a bill is due, and maybe, you don't quite have, you're not sure like where you're going to get the money to pay for it, or, any of those little life stresses, those can cause blockages and balances. Also past things like past traumas, even going all the way back to when you were a baby and you don't even remember, the body will remember those. So it could be things that you're not even aware of that can cause imbalances in your chakra system. And then also things like, your lifestyle, that will also cause imbalances in your chakra system. And then also like your thought patterns and your beliefs. So as an example, this was where I was going to get to the example. If if you've been told throughout your life that you are not, you're never going to amount to anything, or you're not very good at this, or, let's take an example of like somebody tells you you're a terrible singer, even though maybe you're a really good singer. But if you're constantly told that you're a terrible singer, your confidence in that area is going to take a hit. You're not going to believe it. You're not going to feel confident in yourself. Your esteem is not going to be high, which is all a sign that your solar plexus is imbalanced, because your self-confidence is rooted in your solar plexus. So when that happens, you're going to be less likely to put yourself out there. Even if you love singing, you're going to be less likely to put yourself out there to sing in public, or to, you're going to be less likely to do that, which means you're not going to maybe be on your path or your purpose, if that is in your life path. So if you've been told that over the years, you're going to believe that, which is why you're not going to put yourself out there, right? And so not believing yourself is a sign that your solar plexus is imbalanced. So it could be from being years of being told that your chakra is imbalanced, which is then going to feed that lack of belief. But it can also be vice versa. So let's say, for example, you didn't experience that through your life. You were singing, you love singing. Nobody had ever really told you that you weren't. You feel pretty good about it. But then you started putting things on YouTube, and you started getting some reviews from people who are like, this person can't sing, or they suck, or I don't like how they did this. You're suddenly going to have these beliefs that, well, I'm not very good at this. And that could then cause your solar plexus to fall, get a little hit and fall out of alignment. So they both play into each other when it comes to, impacting the health of your overall chakra or chakra system. And by the way, the goal when it comes to your chakra system isn't to be 100% open and balanced in every single chakra, every single moment of the day. Like, that's not really possible. As little, like I said, little life stresses come in, your chakra system may temporarily, a few, whatever, it may temporarily just be a little imbalanced, but that's not a bad thing. And it doesn't mean that it's going to stay that way forever. This is, again, why it's important, when you know the signs and you're having those little stresses in life, you can do the necessary things to get it back in alignment, so it doesn't become like worse or fully blocked. So let's now talk about, now that we've talked a little bit about like how our thoughts and our belief systems can impact our chakra system and vice versa, let's get into a little bit about why I believe this is a really important thing to understand as an introvert. So as introverts, we have throughout our life been subjected to this external biased conditioning that tells us that we have to be more extroverted. That if you are quiet and want to do things on your own, well, then you're a loner and you're antisocial. You've got to speak up more. To be liked and accepted, you have to be like, the center of the life of the party, or you need to be seeking out to be the center of attention, and which none of that is really resonates with, if you're more on the introverted side of the introvert extrovert scale. And so that means as you're going through life, your very nature has been called into question, has been told it's not right. You've been told to not be that way. You've been told that it's wrong to be that way. You've seen examples on television or movies or in books that portray the introverted person as the nerdy person or the weird person or the awkward person, and the outgoing person is the one everybody wants to be, who has all the things. So it's been reinforced subtly through um, uh, you know pop culture as well. So all of these signs leads many, many introverts to believing that they are at a disadvantage because they're an introvert, or they believe they have to pretend to be something that they are not as they are navigating life. And I know that's because not only am I a hardcore introvert and have felt that way for many years of my life, I don't anymore, but as a coach that works specifically with introverts, I have talked to many, 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 many introverts, and actually almost, I would say every introvert I've ever talked to has experienced this over their life. They may no longer believe that they're at a disadvantage because they've done the work to heal all of that conditioning, but they did at some point. And so when you are experiencing that rejection of who you are, and those beliefs around who you think you need to be are being woven into your belief system when you're really little, when you're very impressionable, that is going to lead some, maybe not necessarily all, but it's going to lead to some of your chakras being impacted. And some of those imbalances may not be full blockages, but some of those imbalances may be the result of all of that conditioning when you were younger and throughout your life. So this is why it's really, really important for introverts to understand this, so that as you start to recognize the signs of imbalances, again, you can do the work to start to heal that. But when you're looking at it through that lens of an introvert, and where have I been conditioned and why, or how has that maybe impacted the imbalances in some of these chakras, you're also going to have the benefit of unraveling of that conditioning, cleaning up those beliefs, and really stepping into your autonomy, your sovereignty, your confidence in who you are as an introvert, and owning that process and standing behind it, and creating healthy boundaries around the space that you need, and not feeling guilty for not having to go out and do all the socializing, and being okay not being the person who's speaking up at every single moment in the meetings at work. You will understand how you can be a really impactful and effective leader as an introvert, when you start to unravel those thoughts. And so what I love, and why I love talking, and I'm going to be talking about it more, this whole idea of your chakra system having been possibly in a state of imbalance or blocked in certain chakras, if not all, but probably not all, but in certain chakras, understanding that along with the extrovert introvert conditioning of our lives, as we start to work on that, we can work on that in like a full circle. So we can do the energy healing work, and we can do the mindset work around cleaning up the belief system, but also cleaning up the energy underneath it. So when we do that together, that's when it really gets really exciting and really impactful. Because if we just focus on mindset, and I'm a mindset coach, so I am all about mindset, but if we just focus on mindset, the energy underneath it that may be imbalanced or blocked is going to make it harder to clean all of that up with just doing the mindset piece. It's almost like that's on top. But if we just do the energy healing work, well, that will certainly start to clean up things and start to impact how you see yourself and impact your overall thoughts. It can still take a little bit longer for the mind to come on board with that. So when we do that together, it becomes really powerful and impactful. So that's why I love to talk about this stuff, and to encourage introverts to be curious about this and start to explore it. So Really quickly, just to give you a really high level of how each of the chakras might be impacted by this conditioning, I just want to take you through each of those 7 main major chakras to just paint a little picture so that you can better understand this. So, our root chakra is the very first chakra. It's at the base of our spine. It's at the foundational chakra. It's the first one to develop, and it is all about our safety and our security, feeling safe and secure in our body, feeling safe and secure in our environment. It's also about trust, trusting ourselves, trusting others around us. So when we think about, small children who are introverts being forced to get out of their shell or to participate when maybe that's not the best way for them to learn or to be involved in things, when they are being subtly told that the way they are and who they are, that's wrong, you will develop this belief that it's not safe to be who you are. And so that gets rooted in that root chakra, that it's not safe to be you. It's not safe to be in the environment as an introvert. So you have to pretend to be something that you're not. You have to pretend to be more extroverted. And part of that stems from that fear of being negatively judged by your peers, your family, your friends. So that all plays into that sense of I'm not safe being who I am as an introvert. So then as we move up, when we go to the second chakra, which is the sacral chakra, that is actually all about our sense of self. It's about our emotions. It is about our identity. So if we play off of that, it's not safe to be ourselves, we can't really own our sense of identity. We can't really own who we are. So when we're putting on that extrovert mask every day to get out in the world and survive because we think that's the safe way of being in the world, we're negatively impacting that sacral chakra because we're denying who we are and we're disconnected from our true identity. Now, the solar plexus chakra, which is the third chakra, so moving up the spine, the solar plexus is all about confidence, motivation, that inner fire. So, again, if we can't be who we are here to be, if we have to put a mask on to hide ourselves, it's going to impact our confidence. It's going to dim that inner fire. And then as we continue to move up and we go to the fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra, right in the middle, that is all about self-love, self-compassion. It's also about compassion and love for others as well. But in terms of what we're talking about here, self-love, self-acceptance, self-compassion, empathy. And if we are being told throughout our lives that we have to reject who we are, we have to hide who we are, we can't be who we are, naturally, you're probably not going to be accepting yourself. You're not going to be loving yourself as you are. You see, I can't tell you how many introverts tell me they're at a disadvantage because they're an introvert, or they feel like they just have to, pretend to be, do things the way it's supposed to be or what they should do. That is all going to negatively impact the health of your heart chakra because you're not having empathy for yourself. You're not having compassion for yourself. You are not feeling love and acceptance for yourself. And as we move up into the fifth chakra, which is the throat chakra, it's all about self-expression, being able to communicate your truth, being able to speak your truth, being able to hear others. Now, introverts are excellent at being able to hear others and listen, but I think where the imbalances and the blockages from all of that conditioning over a lifetime of you need to be somebody that you're not, when it comes to the throat chakra, many introverts feel like they don't know how to speak up. They don't know how to share their voice. They don't know how to take a stage and share, what's important to them. They feel like they can't get on social media. They can't do video. It's hard for them to present things. It's hard to do, to tell people what they're thinking. All of that is from that imbalanced chakra that says that you can't be who you are. So it feeds off the others as well. So if you don't feel safe, if you're detached from your sense of identity, if you are lacking in self-confidence, you don't have compassion for yourself for who you are, it's going to impact your ability to be able to speak your truth, right? So then as we move up into the third eye, which is right up here in your forehead, that is all about your intuition, your inner connection. And while I do believe introverts have a very strong intuition and they generally have a very strong connection with themselves on an internal level because we are we're so internally focused as introverts. The blockages here, I believe, are more from the blockages from the prior ones. So we were just talking about how they build upon each other. When you have blockages in other chakras, even if you have a chakra that's open, it will be, I like to think of it as a little bit sluggish, even though it's open. You still can't really experience it at its full best, most flowing state, because you're not getting enough energy to it if there are blockages in those that are beneath it. So that means even though you may feel a strong sense of connection to yourself, you may feel like you have a good intuition and you could hear that. If you have blockages in the other chakras before that, you may not be aware that that connection could be stronger and your intuition could be stronger. So it still takes a hit. And then the final chakra that of the 7 main chakras is the crown, which is right at the top of the head. And that is your connection to your higher source. So again, if you're experiencing blockages in safety, identity, confidence, and inner fire, and self-love and compassion, and you can't express your truth and your communicate out, and you can't also then really tap into that intuition, then it is going to impact your ability to connect to that higher source, which connecting to that higher source is how you really are able to start making decisions that align with your life path. It's where you're able to see your future and not have it colored by what everybody else expects for you. You get those downloads from the universe, that insight, that sense of connection to beyond just yourself. So again, I think introverts probably are pretty open with those capabilities, but again, with those deeper, more foundational chakras, if there is blockages in those or imbalances, it's going to impact your ability to really fully experience that at its fullest. So that's kind of a little crash course in your chakra system, how thoughts and beliefs impact your chakra system, and how conditioning that that introverts have experienced over their lives, how that's going to play into all of that, your overall health with your chakra system. So I hope that this inspires you to learn a little bit more about your chakra system, learn what it means to be blocked or imbalanced, what it means to be balanced, and then start to really play with those ideas. And if you need help with that, then follow me on this channel, because I am going to be sharing more on that. I'm going to be sharing more details on the chakra system and how that ties into introverts. And I also have a program that's going to be launching very soon that's going to allow you to deep dive into that. So if you want to find out more information about that, then I will just let me know. And the final thing that I want to mention is I do offer chakra alignment sessions. So it is through Zoom, where I can help you start to align those sessions. You just get to kind of relax, and I will work with the energy of your chakras to help to start to bring those in alignment. And I also have an offer where we can combine that with some coaching. So we're hitting not only the energetic side of things in the body, but we are hitting those belief systems in the mind and the brain. So again, we're doing that 360 degree approach to healing all of the impact of all of that social conditioning throughout your life, so that you can release it and you can finally step into this greater sense of ease, confidence, joy, start feeling more fulfilled, following your purpose, speaking your mind, loving yourself as you are. So all of that is possible when we start to do the work to bring this into alignment and to heal it. So I will leave some links below if you want to check any of that out. And if you have questions, please let me know. I am here to help you with that. And I hope that this has, again, inspired you to look at yourself and look at things a little bit differently. And yeah, I would love to see you in one of my chakra alignment sessions. So be sure to book one of those. And otherwise, I will see you next time.